All right. Yes, welcome to this live stream. If you're watching, it'll be a really efficient live stream. I'll just be showing you a big game week 4 review. Then we'll be going into the top transfers you should transfer in, and just a bit about the international break, stuff like that. And then I'll be showing you the best wildcard draft. Then we'll just ask questions throughout the whole thing, and yeah, so I can answer them and all your FPL thoughts and questions. Alright, let's get straight into it. Game week 4 was very high average points, 72 average points, but my team did very, very bad. Obviously, I doubled up in the Chelsea defense, and Chelsea lost the clean sheet, which I was very, very disappointed about, and I was frustrated with the way they played against Nottingham Forest. I think they definitely could have won that. Nicholas Jackson definitely could have got a few goals there. Chilwell, a few attacking returns, but they were just playing really sloppy, to be honest. And Areola, I made all the right decisions within my bench. I didn't leave too many points on my bench. Gabriel, luckily he did play, which was a good thing. Meaning that I may not have to transfer him out and waste this one transfer here, and I can use it for better things. But Onana, obviously, if you watch the Arsenal versus Man United game, you'll know how that went. 3-1 to Arsenal, and those two goals in the last 4 minutes for Arsenal, which sealed them the victory. And I didn't really mind, to be honest, because I did have Saka, and Onana was on my bench, so I didn't really care about that. Obviously, I lost the clean sheet for Fernandes and Rashford, but that would only give me 2 points anyway. I've dropped 200,000 ranks, which I'm a bit disappointed about. I was just under 600,000, which I was pretty happy about. But now I'm around 800,000. So hopefully I can start making the push back up into the top 500,000 in game week 5. Holland, now he showed us all why we should keep him, getting the 3 goals in the hat-trick and the 1 assist. So that was actually a really, really good game for FPL managers, just to be reassured by him, because he did have some really bad games, and it was making me wonder if I might be better to go without him. But I was very happy that he did really well, and he got more points by himself than the rest of my squad got all together. Madison, the transfer did work out. Now, I transferred Martinelli out for Madison. He had a good game. He had 5 points, 1 assist. But I was just frustrated with these little games with little attacking returns. So transferred him out for Madison, and it proved to be good. Also, my Jackson transferred in for Ollie Watkins the week before. Watkins actually had a pretty bad game where they got destroyed by Liverpool, 2 points. And so I've really only gained 1 point from that, because Jackson got 7 points last week, Ollie Watkins got 5 points, and then Ollie Watkins got 2 points, Jackson got 1 point. Yellow card. He's got 3 yellow cards already this season, which is actually something to keep in mind and consider when looking in the long-term run. If he's playing like this, where he's getting nearly a card every game, it's probably going to pick up a red card soon. Yeah, so Colwill, Chilwell, obviously disappointing. Estupinian disappointing. Matoma disappointing. I missed out on so much by not going for Mboimo over Matoma. Some things like that you can't really change. Saka having another disappointing game. Obviously, he got the assist for Declan Rice's game-winning goal, And we saw Gabriel Jesus play again, and he got a goal. He might be someone to consider over just after the international break. So he did return in the Fulham game. He only played 1 minute, so doesn't really count, to be honest. But he played 14 minutes and got that amazing goal. It was so clinical, and it just shows why Gabriel Jesus might be the striker to go for. I might go for him over Jackson just because of how disappointing Jackson's been as of lately. Now, having a look at the team of the week. Now, with the first player of the week, Rafael Varane, 14 points. It actually shocks me to see that 14 points was the highest in game week 1. If we look at the team of the week, they destroyed it. Alisson Becker, 8 points. He was a high-scoring goalkeeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold, we finally saw him get an attacking return in the game. He was playing in a much better position, almost as like a holding centre-back, centre defensive mid-type player, where he was just creating for the offensive players. J-Bot-Z... Oh, thank you, J-Bot-Z. You'll watch the whole stream from now. Thank you. If you have any FPL questions, J-Bot-Z V2, make sure to ask them. Looking at... Okay. Kurt Zouma. West Ham versus Luton. They conceded a goal against Luton, which he could have kept a clean sheet, but he got the goal, which was not that bad. Bowley, Nottingham Forest defense kept the clean sheet against Chelsea. Son with that massive hat-trick. Obviously, as Son's a midfielder, his goals are equal to 5. So 1 goal is 5 points. And Holland, 1 goal is 4 points. So that's why Holland didn't massively outscore him with the assist as well. So they equal to the same amount of points. And Gilmore, Brighton destroyed Newcastle, but I wouldn't be looking into the Brighton attack at the moment. They have a few tough games here, and then a really rough stretch here. Declan Rice, he got 10 points, which was pretty interesting. Solomon, 10 points. Haaland, 20 points. And Ferguson, 17 points. Alvarez is one of the top strikers to go for. I'll be back in a second. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just start from the front line again. Declan Rice, we saw him get that last-minute goal that sealed them the victory. That was probably, I wouldn't say he's looking to get that every game. And in the front line, we have Haaland, who got the hat-trick and the assist. Ferguson with the other hat-tricks. There was 3 hat-tricks this game week, which was really, really cool. Ferguson, 18-year-old, got a hat-trick. He's definitely someone to keep in mind for a transfer. And Julian Alvarez was so central in the Man City attack, and it was so exciting just watching him and Haaland link up. Alvarez had 2 assists and 1 goal. Now, let's just have a look at this slideshow quickly. Alright, we'll get into what we learned in this game week 4. We learned that Haaland will, much to the relief of Haaland owners, will keep penalties. Now, we saw him miss that penalty, which was kind of a shock, and it was disappointing. He lost points for us, and he went into minus. And we're all worried that someone like Julian Alvarez or someone like that could be taking over penalties. But he took another one and made it. So that should seal him. Son could be playing as a central striker, which is, he played so well. We've seen him play on the left wing and he's been playing out wide and getting no attacking returns in the first 3 games of the season and all throughout the preseason. Finally, he plays up in that central striker position instead of Richarlison. He has the captain, so he has a whole lot of responsibility on his shoulders as well, and he scores a hat-trick. Also, we saw that Chelsea is looking so bad offensively and defensively that at the moment, if you don't have Chelsea players, or you maybe just have Chilwell or Jackson, just don't even look to get some more Chelsea players. Obviously, they have some easier fixtures, but I just would be staying away from them at the moment until after the Aston Villa game, and which is in 2 games. And if we've seen a lot of good from them after the Aston Villa game, then maybe you can look to transfer them in. Also, we saw that Man City is scoring so many goals through Alvarez and Holland. So, if you don't have one of them, it's a must get one of them. And maybe if you have the transfer, get both of them to like have them both, because they scored 5 goals in their most recent games. And all the goals came through Alvarez and Holland. Obviously, that Ake goal, excluding that, all the goals came through Alvarez and Holland. So look to doubling up there. I might try, if I have a free transfer later on in game weeks, try to get Alvarez and Holland in instead of Jackson. Ferguson is actually looking like a really good cheap forward option. 5.9. He's getting the start over João Pedro in the last 2 games, and he scored a hat-trick, which might just seal his spot as that starter. And we also saw that Mbeumo is so valuable for FPL squads. If you don't have him, maybe it's the time is just over. Fixture swing is coming up and where it gets really hard, so maybe hold off for him right now. Alright. Now, these are the top 2 forwards that you should look to get at the moment. Julian Alvarez, selected by only 12.4%. Now, I say it about these 2 people and these 2 players. Maybe it would be a good opportunity to jump on earlier onto these players before everyone else gets on and jumps on. So you'll have them before everyone else has and get those points out of them before everyone starts getting those points out. Both of these players are very low owned. Julian Alvarez is 6.7 million. And he's already got 5 attacking returns in these 4 games that he's played. And these fixtures up ahead are looking so good. We have a 3 fixture difficulty rating and then 2 2s. He's definitely someone to look into getting. If I can get 1 attacker and 1 player right now, I would get Julian Alvarez. And then next player you should look to get is Evan Ferguson. Obviously, he's a little riskier just because João Pedro is in the squad. João Pedro looks like he could be starting sometimes and they could swap around. But at the moment, I think after that, that I'll just move this over here. Alright. After that hat-trick that he got, I think he's safe for a few games. Obviously, he has a tough game here, and it's kind of rough for about up to game week 10, I think it's a little rough up to. But strikers aren't that you don't need strikers to be as fixture proof. Like, if you have a striker against a hard team, it's not as important, and it doesn't really matter as much as having a defender against a harder team. I think strikers are very much fixture proof. 4 attacking returns already, and only 6.9 people own him. Getting into the top 2 defenders. Now, the biggest thing I look for with defenders is, are they nailed on? Now, Gvardiol, he was the number one priority to get into my squad and transfer out Gabriel. But I'm kind of happy I left Gabriel in my squad, as he started and he played the full 90 minutes, which was the main concern. He wasn't playing at all and he wasn't starting. But now that he's starting, he's a good option with the Arsenal defense, and I can save one of my transfers. So I don't think I'll be doing a defender transfer right now for this next game week. I might hold. I really want to hold one, so I just have two and I can use them like that. But if I do a transfer, I might do a midfield or a goalkeeper or a forward. But defenders, I'm pretty happy with where my defenders are at the moment. So Ruben Diaz, 5.5 million. He's the most nailed on Man City defender. Now, John Stones might be coming back after the international break, and we saw Gvardiol not start, which was kind of a shock, and it was kind of disappointing because I was so excited to get him into my squad, and I know a lot of other players were. But with Pep, you never know who's going to start, but the most nailed on that we know who has the most chance of starting is Ruben Diaz. 5.5 million. If you have that sort of budget, then maybe get him into your squad. He has some easier fixtures up ahead. And then we have Levi Colwill. 4.1 people select him. So these are very low-owned players who maybe you should jump on earlier. He has some easier fixtures. As I said, maybe you shouldn't, as I said earlier, maybe you should stay away from Chelsea players in general. I think if you don't have this money to get Ruben Diaz, then Levi Colwill is the next best option though. With these fixtures up ahead, he was looking really good. He's nailed his 4.5 million as well. And these midfielders are the top midfielders that you should get. Brian and Mbeumo, after this next fixture, it's pretty good from then on. He's got 4 goals already. 26% own him. I expect that might go up after this game week. And he's 6.8 million. And then we have HeungMin Son. He has tougher fixtures, but he has been and still is one of the best strikers in the Premier League, and he's been for years. So he's probably the most fixture-proof striker there could be at the moment in the Premier League. With Harry Kane gone, he's the next option. If he still plays in that central striker position, he might get 1 to 2 goals a game, and he might be someone that you must have in your squad. 9.1 million, he is like the most expensive midfielder other than Salah, who's an option. Obviously, we know De Bruyne isn't an option anymore because he's been injured for about 4 months. He got those. As soon as he moved into that central striker position, he all of a sudden started getting 3 attacking returns, and he's only 8.7% owned by players. Now, it's like I wouldn't want to miss him for this fixture up ahead, but I would say I would wait out these 3 fixtures just to get a better understanding of if it's worth transferring him in. But if you're really confident and you want to do something that most players won't do to differentiate you from those other players, then this could be the move. Moving into for their country. So it is really important that you listen to this here. Players could get injured or return over the international break, so save your transfers and wild cards. You must not use any of your transfers or wild cards over this international break until it breaks over, Because what if your player, if just say you have Trent Alexander-Arnold on, or Kieran Trippier, they go to international break, get injured, and then you've just used your transfer on them and it's a waste. Or just say HeungMin Son gets injured and you've just transferred him in because he plays for Korea. That could turn out really, really bad for your squad. So definitely, if you're using a wild card, save that until after, and definitely save all your transfers till after the break. Now, let's go into building the ultimate wildcard squad. Now, if you want to if you're on this stream and you want to give options and preferences of who you want on the wildcard squad, make sure to just say it in the chat. All right. The first keeper, I think it would be safe to go for Edison. Comment if you don't believe that and you don't think that should be the first keeper in this ultimate wildcard squad. You just have the reassurance of a clean sheet most of the time, and against the easier fixtures, it's almost guaranteed with the defense. Now, this next keeper, I think Areola is the best option. Budget keeper, 4.1 million, and West Ham are looking like one of the strongest sides. 3 wins, 1 draw this season. They haven't lost so far. They're looking so good. I think their defense could ensure a clean sheet for Areola. Getting into the defense. Now, I'm not sure. Chilwell and Estupiñán are have been very disappointing as of late. I think it's definite we keep Estupiñán in this wildcard draft because he's only going to go up and his attacking potential and his ceiling is so high. So I think we'll keep him in. And Chilwell is playing as a left winger, so I think we have to keep him in as well. And also, you'll get the bonus Chelsea clean sheet and the bonus Brighton clean sheet as well. So I think they're definitely players you should keep in mind. And Estupiñán against Bournemouth that's coming up, I really, really like that fixture, and I really think that Estupiñán can keep the clean sheet and get around 2 attacking returns. If he can do that, that would work so well. By the way, guys, if you're on the stream and you haven't subscribed, make sure to smash it if this stream is helping you out. And yeah, thank you. Let's move on. I'll just have a look at this. All right. Now, I'm going to change this up a bit. I did have Gvardiol, but seeing him not start, we might go for another defender. I did also have Ruben Diaz as as a number 1 option, but we will triple up on Man City players, so I won't go for another Man City defender. If you have any options, make sure to just say them in the chat. We'll get this one, Udogie. You gotta have Udogie. He's rising in price, and he started at a nice 4.5 million. Spurs defense will let in the odd goal, but he's got 2 assists in 2 games. So he's definitely someone to have in your squad. Now, Romero is actually looking really good, but as the Spurs defense isn't as solid as maybe you would like, I think you should probably stay away from those very set central defenders on Spurs. And maybe if you're going for a Spurs defender, go for the attacking fullbacks like Udogie. And yeah, so this next one, we'll go for Malo Gusto. He's gone up to 4.2 million, but he has that attacking that attacking drive. He's playing very much as a right winger, just like Chilwell. Obviously, if Reece James comes back, he may not have that he may not be as wanted and as valuable as he was before Reece James was out. But Reece James does get injured a lot. And if you get onto him now before he rises up in price, you'll have a nice budget Chelsea defender who is getting a lot of attacking returns. Now, I wouldn't, in any normal circumstance, wouldn't go double up on Chelsea defenders. Like, I'm not going to have Colwill in here because I kind of made the mistake of going for Colwill over Gusto, and I've lost out on a lot of points in my squad. And I think we can make the exception for Gusto because he's such a good budget keeper, and I don't really want to go for Bulldog. He's looking not that good, to be honest. Now, we'll come back to this last defending spot. We have the money to get maybe a 5 million defender, 5 million, 4.5 million to 5 million defender. So we can come back to that later. Getting into the midfield, we gotta have Saka, to be honest. There's 3 guys in here who are must-haves, and you must have them. Saka is one of them. He's been a bit disappointing lately, but we'll keep him in here. Bruno Fernandes is another one whose underlying stats are so good. Obviously, we saw Rashford get the goal, which was really, really good for him. I probably won't be including him in this wildcard draft, as he's not looking that good at the moment. Madison, got to have Madison in there as well. Madison and Fernandes and Saka are must-haves. If you have any other midfielders, comment them, and I will put them in here if they're a good pick. Alright. Now, we got to have Brian Mbeumo in here. He's looking so good. And then he has a few good fixtures left as well. And this last spot, we'll leave it. In some drafts, I've had Ward-Prowse. In others, I've been able to fit in Matoma or someone like that. But there's no need to have someone in there just yet. So we'll move on to the forwards. You gotta have Holland. Holland has gone up to 14.1 million, which is kind of just like another blow to Holland owners, to be honest, but you got to do what you got to do. Over 90% people own him, so you've got to own him yourself. And then, I have had Wissa in some drafts, but at the moment, I think I'll leave him out of this draft. We'll go for Julian Alvarez. Now, this is the triple up that I was talking about. Madison, Holland, and Julian Alvarez. If you have these two starting every single game, you'll be guaranteed to have so much points from them. And this last forward, if you want to comment and if you want to tell me any players you think should go in here, then make sure to do it. But at the moment, I think I've settled with Evan Ferguson. I just like the way he's looking. Obviously, if you want to change that to a Wissa for 0.3 more million, you can do that. But Ivan Toney's coming back, actually probably in a few months, January. So you don't have to worry about Ivan Toney coming back just yet for Wissa. I think Ferguson is the best option, 5.9 million. Now, we have 11.8 million left to fill in these 2 spots. So, let's have a look at our options. Now, we could probably do a Saliba. Gabriel's dropped in price. We might be able to do him. Matty Cash, we saw him get our own goal. That was totally not his fault. He had -1 by the end of the game, which was unfortunate. I kind of ruled out Romero. Arnold's too expensive. Bulldog, I'm done with Bulldog. Don't really want him. I think we'll go with Gabriel just to save a bit of space. And we have 7 million left in the bank. With this last spot, I reckon we could probably, we could probably do Matoma here. If you want, you can do someone else, but this is the draft. 96 out of 100. You can kind of change it up to what you want. I'll end the stream there. Thank you so much for watching the stream. And